It's that time again for the Covrprice Top 10 1 year later. All right, guys, we are going to get into this list. I'm excited. Big lesson learned in this list. You're going to want to check out every book. Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone tonight, not like I screwed up the last video, but tonight, Friday, April 29th, if you're watching this the day it's released, Whatnot, I am dropping my mystery box auction tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 50 mystery boxes. If you check out my Instagram, you will see the top 50 books that I have set for these mystery boxes. Actually, literally, as soon as I'm done recording, I'm rearranging my whole setup here so I have access to them to show them on camera. Check out the link below, the Whatnot link. Get yourself $10 off your first purchase. I'm going to be dual streaming it on YouTube as well. Whether you want to buy something or not, come hang out and watch the excitement. It's going to be a lot of fun. 2 slabs and 10 exclusive variants per box. It's going to be great. We're going to start all the auctions at $1. But with that, let's get into this Covrprice list. Now, this list comes to us from our friends over at Covrprice. We are focusing on their top 10 from 1 year ago. I'm going to take you how each title's sales compare from last year's markets to today's current value. How did these comics do? Were they a boost? Were they a bust? And we're going to start out with number 10. This is Something is Killing the Children, number 1, the LCSD 2020 foil. Now, Something is Killing the Children 1 was on fire this time last year, and thanks to rumors of a show coming to Netflix, while not officially confirmed at the time, sales were climbing across all issue number 1 covers. Most covers grew well out of reach for buyers. However, this foil was the most affordable consolation prize for those who missed those early number 1 covers. Of course, as sales increased, prices for these increased as well. It had a high sale of $40 raw, $193 for CGC 9.8. Now, 1 year later, the show is officially confirmed to be in development at Netflix. However, that announcement was back in July of 2021. There's been a little bit of news since then. This is very typical of Netflix. It'll like suddenly be available to stream one day. Like, boom, here it is. However, when there's no news, the market starts to cool off, and prices for the majority of this first issue have dropped, including this book, which currently stands at a raw fair market value of $19, $52 graded in that 9.8. This is a bust. However, this is still the most affordable entry into this title, which will more than likely bounce back. Yeah, guys, I could see this one bouncing back a little bit because we got news, right? So everybody runs out and buys the books. It drives the price up. Everybody's frantic. FOMO, right? FOMO. We talk about FOMO. Boom. Fear of missing out. The prices go crazy. Now everything is calmed down. Now we haven't heard anything about this show. It's been quiet. Prices are starting to come back down. When you feel comfortable, if you want this book and you feel comfortable that it's down to a price point where it's like, all right, how much lower can it really go? Pounce on it. Otherwise, it's going to bounce back when news comes out, when the show is all of a sudden really released. And if it's good, forget it. It's going to be a little bit tougher to get this book down at the current value. So keep an eye on it. Watch. It may still dip a little bit. Let's go down to number 9. This is Amazing Spider-Man 365. Based on his appearance at the end of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, we knew that 2099 was coming into the Spider-Verse number 2. Since that film released, his first preview appearance in this issue has consistently sold well. However, a year ago, it hit a jump to $40 for a raw sale, $500 in a 9.8. Today, we now know that we did, in fact, finally receive that visual confirmation of 2099's inclusion in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse with a teaser in November of 2021. While raw sales are holding at $40, 9/8 have dropped to a fair market value of $325. This comes with some market fatigue of buying this book for more than 3 years now, and with another year and a half to go till the film's release, the price will likely not bounce back up anytime soon. But we recommend watching it, as it could be a great buy-in in the next 6 months if it decreases anymore. This is a break-even raw. It is a bust in the 9.8. Again, kind of with number 10. It's that FOMO. Everybody's hyped. They picked the book up. Now with everything kind of quiet, we know he's coming, but he's not in front of our faces, right? And now we know another year and a half before this movie comes out, you're probably going to see prices on this book come down too. Almost the entire market. We went through COVID and it just literally seemed like everything exploded. across the board. Keys, non-keys, everything exploded. Now, the only books that seem to really be popping are just like the pre-COVID days when we have solid news and evidence of characters showing up in movies or a really, really strong story arc in the actual comics. Instead of everything exploding, everything seems to be coming back down to where it should be with only the certain books popping. This is a great example. It may be an opportunity to get in at an affordable price. Again, sit on this book. Let's see how low it can go. Let's go down to number 8. This is Green Lantern number 59. I love this book. This time last year, Deadline reported that Finn Wittrock to headline Green Lantern HBO Max series as Guy Gardner. This instantly increased sales and prices on Guy's first appearance in Green Lantern number 59, with mid-grade Raws hitting $500, had a high sale of $900 for a CGC 7.0. 1 year later, prices have completely stable, still holding at $500 for a mid-grade copy. While the most recent 7.0 sold for less than $660, and 8.0 recently hit a new high for $1,000. So prices are pretty much stable, if not up in various grades. This is a key first appearance that's always been desired with or without content. We also have a lot of faith in the Green Lantern series. For better or worse, this is a break even. Now, first of all, I think all DC books are undervalued. Silver Age. A lot of the Silver Age DC books and Bronze Age DC books are undervalued. They're nowhere near the Marvel stuff. A lot of it has to do with the movies. All these Green Lantern keys, whether it's Guy Gardner, John Stewart, Stewart, Gardner, and even going all the way back to Sinestro, I feel like they're all undervalued. Do you want to hop on this book? I don't know. But when we go through these lists, I always love these Silver and Bronze Age keys. This one is in my personal collection. I love Green Lantern. I love Guy Gardner. I love it all. I love this book. I do. Let's go down now to number 7. This one hurts a bit, guys. 1 year ago, we finally saw Sam Wilson, the Falcon Winter Soldier, become MCU's new Captain America in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This issue instantly went from spec to Phase 4 staple. It sold a ton of copies in the aftermarket, with Raws selling for a fair market value of $70, with one hitting as high as $150. It also had a high sale of $630 in a CGC 9.8. 1 year later, things have drastically changed for this book. Today, it sells for $21 raw. $160 in a 9.8. That's a huge tumble in value. The market completely moved on from this issue despite the promise of seeing Sam in action as Captain America in the future. This was definitely interesting to see. Focusing on the first appearances seems to be the way the market prefers to handle long-term investment. This is a huge bust, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, out of sight, out of mind. We haven't, it's been a year now since we've seen Sam Wilson as Captain America. We know he is going to be Captain America. We know he's going to be in the future MCU films. This book can bounce back. Will it ever hit $630 again in a 9.8? I don't think so. $400 though seems like a real possibility. This may be an opportunity here if you can be patient. Out of sight, out of mind. People have forgotten about this book, but yet the character still exists in the MCU. Let's go down to number 6. This is Paper Girls number 1. 1 year ago, Deadline reported that casting news that Paper Girls for Amazon cast actresses Sophia Rosinski, Cameron Jones, Riley Leigh Nillette, Fina Straza as leads. I've definitely screwed all that up. Market confidence in this title helped move many copies, with Raws trending at $35 and a high sale of $250 for a CGC 9.8. 1 year later, like Something is Killing the Children, the lack of news pushed this out of minds of collectors, as it now sells for $15 raw, $102 graded. The question, can it re-reach those highs again? We think yes for raw, however, graded might be tough. For now, this is a bust. Are you starting to see a trend with this list? FOMO? Right? Except for Falcon Winter Soldier. That's not much of a FOMO. We kind of knew that was coming. But a lot of FOMO, and then boom. Post-type sleeper? I don't know if I'd call these a post-type sleepers. They're just coming down. Out of sight, out of mind. People are forgetting. And then what's going to happen? We're going to get a trailer. We're going to get a preview. We're going to get news. And you're going to see these books pop again. I would still sit, wait. Don't go run out and buy anything right now. These prices are probably still coming down back to earth, but I definitely 100% think that some of these are going to turn around, go right back up. Maybe not as high as they were. Maybe not as high as those were probably all-time highs that we may never see again. But I do think there's chance at these things returning back, maybe 75% of their high. Maybe. We'll see. Time will tell. That's what's great about these lists. Let's go to 5. This is Marvel Comics Presents number 72. This time last year, everyone was expecting various upcoming Disney Plus content to introduce mutants and, most importantly, open the door for Wolverine, who's easily the most anticipated MCU character. This book suddenly started trending when very loose rumors of a Wolverine anthology series was mentioned to possibly be in development for Disney Plus. It sent collectors to this first series that dived into his origin with a whopping 96 copies sold, with Raws trending at $60 and a high sale of $850 for CGC 9.8. 1 year later, there's been no additional news on this rumor. Of course, it's not a stretch to assume Marvel is developing something around Wolverine, but it's still all guesswork, which collectors know. That dropped this book to a fair market value of $31 and $332 for 9.8. This is a bust, but still a great book to own for long term. Again, can 9.8s hit or surpass $850? I don't think so. These books are coming back down to where they should be. I did always think this was a little bit of an undervalued book, but $850 for 9.8? No, that just seems crazy. And as long as you didn't pay $800 for it, who cares? Let everyone else do it. Don't fall for the FOMO. Don't fall for the news. Don't let the stuff settle down. Let the prices settle down. Unless, of course, it's something you want anyway. Hey, have at it. Have fun. Let's go to number 4. This is Batman Fortnite 0 Point number 1. This book was the first time Fortnite released a comic book tie-in. This wasn't even a FOMO book. It was a slew of Fortnite players trying to get the exclusive in-game codes for downloads, including new skins for Catwoman and Batman. It sold out quickly in stores and hit high sales of $45 for a raw copy. 1 year later, we all knew this boost in price was temporary. It was compounded by DC offering all the downloads via cheaper options, via online or via the graphic novel. Today, this now sells for $3. This is a bust if I ever seen one. And if you paid $45 for this, shame on you, because you knew why this book had the value it did, and you knew what time it was going to come crashing down. You should have. While we're crashing down, let's crash down to number 3. Did you like that segue? Little weird? All right, let's do it anyway. Let's crash down to number 3. This is Sweet Tooth number 1. It was this time last year when Netflix officially dropped the trailer for the Sweet Tooth show, produced by Robert Downey Jr., and it looked fantastic. Sales immediately started moving, with Raws trending at a fair market value of $150 with a high sale of $545 for CGC 9.8. 1 year later, we all watched the series and it was good. With a second season confirmed, prices still fell post-release. Today, Raws now trend at $35 with 9/8 at $330. Second seasons don't typically push sales to that initial high of the first season. So when that second season releases, we'll see an increase, but it may never see a high like that. For $545 9/8 sale. Again, this is another bust. You guys should be seeing a trend on this list this week. Seeing a trend. Let's go to number 2. But before we do, I want to remind everybody about that Covrprice discount code in the description down below. Use it. Check out the website. If you don't enjoy it, don't worry about it. It's okay. You could always cancel, but it's a lot of fun. It's a great website, a great tool to use to check the current market of not only your collection, or maybe books that you're watching. Watch the trends and say, you know what, this is trending down. I'm going to sit this one out. Let it keep trending down. Let this book keep trending down so you could buy it at a low for your personal collection. Unless you're looking to flip, the lower the better, right? Buy low, sell high. Let's go down to number 2. This is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 3. This issue features the first appearance of Titania, Mary McFerrin, second version, and Volcana. However, last year, this book was trending due to rumors of Titania possibly showing up as the villain in the Disney Plus She-Hulk series. It hit a fair market value of $50 raw with a high sale of $385 on a 9.8. 1 year later, we received confirmation in July of 2021 that actress Jamila Jamil, definitely said that wrong, would, in fact, play the role of Titania. We've all been patiently waiting for a She-Hulk trailer. Like other books on this list, the lack of news or trailers has dropped the market value to $26 and $198 in a 9.8. This is a bust. However, this will more than likely reach or exceed those initial values when we see Titania in action. It's possible that it does, but I want to let everybody know, don't invest in these type of villains, flat out. Why do I say that? Because Titania is not going to be around. I think it's going to be a one-shot deal. Do you want to invest in Dr. Doom? Go ahead, do that. He's not going anywhere. You know how much I love Annihilus. these characters, Galactus, like those are the characters. They're not one and done characters. Those are the villains that have long-term effects on the MCU and are huge favorites for collectors, not Titania. Okay, that's a one-shot deal. Don't invest top dollar in these villains that you know as well as I do are one-shot villains. You're not going to see them again. Thanos was different, right? We knew that. All these other villains, you know, the big boys. If you want to pay top dollar to invest, do it on the big boys. Last but not least, let's get down to number 1. This is Black Widow number 6. This was the one FOMO book on the list last year, as this issue featured the first appearance of Lucy Wynn, aka Marigold, who becomes Natasha's protege. Since we live in the world where first appearances are gold, this issue also sold a ton of aftermarket copies with a high sale of $26 for Raw. 1 year later, Marigold is still around. However, she hasn't spiked in value or created big fan base. However, market values are not too bad, with a very slight dip to its current Raw fair market value of $26, $71 and a 9.8. Probably a good buy. Anything under I don't want to say a major first appearance, right? But a first appearance under $100 in a 9.8. Why not? Grab it, put it aside, and forget about it. And you never know, this book may double, triple, or quadruple. We've seen books go crazy for under $100. Why not take a shot? That's it. Let's break this one down because it's going to sting a little. 1 year later, buying into this top 10 would have hurt. You would have lost $306 raw and almost $2,000 of a loss for graded copies. But remember, that's just top dollar, guys. While many of these books still have potential, this list does not have $2,000 worth of graded potential. However, what books do you think you'll pick up at the current market drops? Guys, this list, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more lists like this in the coming months. We'll see. I'm going to let you know right now. Make sure to check out Covrprice.com, their current top 10 and movers and shakers list. Come back next show. Let's see how these books did. We're going back 3 years. 3 years. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep it comics.